Hello everyone, it's me MUFTi and welcome to another tennis blog. We're here at the Roland Garros Stadium, the Stade de Roland Garros, for the tennis blog to do with the final conclusions of the Roland Garros here in Paris. So let's carry on and see how we do. Alright, you're watching MUFTi, your no BS guide talking tennis, and today we're breaking down everything that went down at Roland Garros 2025, from wildcard wonders and shock exits to historic comebacks and clay court coronations. This year's French Open had more plot twists than a Cannes screenplay. Grab your espresso or your electrolytes and let's relive 2 weeks of absolute chaos. Brilliance and terre battue theatre. From May 26th to June 9th, 2025, Roland Garros hosted its 124th edition. And Paris once again became the epicenter of tennis's slowest surface and fast-changing narratives. The iconic red clay shimmered under the early summer sun, producing not just marathon rallies, but seismic upsets and emotional meltdowns worthy of a five-act French tragedy. Over 650 spectators passed through the gates of Stade Roland Garros, just here, as you can see behind me, where 128 singles players per draw clashed across 20 clay courts, each layered with over 4,800 kilograms of terre battue. This year also saw the arrival of new US broadcast partners TNT Sports, as well as fresh global storylines from teenage breakthroughs to all too human unravelings. Roland Garros 2025 was more than a Grand Slam. It was a 2-week operatic crescendo sung in topspin and sweat, performed on a surface that remembers everything. Right, so early drama, wildcard wonders and French Firehots. The second week of Roland Garros 2025 played out like a Cannes thriller, full of plot twists, underdog flares, and raucous home crowd energy. Leading the script was Laurent Basson, ranked world number 361, who stunned the tennis world. First Open era wildcard to reach the Roland Garros semi-finals. She toppled number 5 Jessica Pegula in 3 sets, 3-6, 6-4, 6-4. The then silenced rising star Mira Andreeva in straight sets under the lights of Philippe Chatrier. It was more than a Cinderella run, it was a comeback narrative just months after returning from ACL rehab. By tournament's end, Basson leapt nearly 300 spots to number 65 in the WTA rankings, becoming a symbol of French grit. In the breath, the women's draw delivered another shock. Ariana Sabalenka dethroned the reigning clay queen Iga Swiatek in the semi-finals, halting Swiatek's 26th match Roland Garros winning streak with a clinical 6-4, 6-2 masterclass. It marked the end of one era and potentially the beginning of another, as Sabalenka showed she could handle even the most formidable force on clay. And the men's draw had its own wildcard miracle. Terence at Main, ranked number 137, and handed a main draw wildcard, thrilled the home crowd with a 5-set upset of number 14 Tommy Paul in round 2. His relentless play and charisma earned him a place in the 4th round, making him the first French male wildcard to reach that stage since Paul-Henri Mathieu in 2002. Though he bowed out, the eventual finalist Jannik Sinner at main run lit up Port Philippe Chatrier and briefly rewrote the national tennis narrative. Okay, now we talk about the quarter-final crescendo. The quarter-final stage of Roland Garros 2025 turned the spotlight up to maximum lumens. On women's side, Coco Gauff overcame a shaky start to defeat Madison Keys 6-7, 6-4, 6-1, sealing the match by winning 8 of the last 9 games despite hitting 10 double faults. Louis Basson, still ranked number 361, stunned again by eliminating Mira Andreeva 7-6, 6-3, making her the lowest ranked women's semi-finalist at Roland Garros in over 40 years. Ariana Sabalenka looked ruthless again against the 2021 champ Barbara Krejcikova, winning in straight sets, while Iga Swiatek had to claw past a dogged Daria Kasatkina to keep her title hopes alive. On the men's side, Jannik Sinner dismantled Alexander Bublik 6-1, 7-5, 6-0 in under 2 hours, producing just 13 unforced errors and hitting a tournament best 252 km/h serve. Novak Djokovic marked his 100th career win, match win at Roland Garros by defeating Alexander Zverev, but later withdrew with a medial meniscus tear, ending his campaign prematurely. Carlos Alcaraz, showing no signs of nerves, swept past Tony Paul in straight sets. But the true surprise came from Lorenzo Musetti, who defeated Frances Tiafoe 6-2, 4-6, 7-5, 6-2, becoming the first Italian man since 1976 to reach a Roland Garros semi-final. The victory wasn't without spice. Musetti received a code violation for kicking a ball into the stands in frustration. Okay, now we go on to the semi-finals, physical and psych warfare. The Roland Garros semi-finals wasn't just matches. They were mental marathons on the women's side. Aryna Sabalenka shook the clay under late May skies by defeating Iga Swiatek, snapped Swiatek's unbeatable 26-match winning streak at Roland Garros with a score of 7-6, 4-6, 6-0 with that decisive bagel in the final set at Roland Garros, and announced herself as a serious clay contender. Meanwhile, the men's contest between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner became a legend in its own right. The two young titans waged a five-set war lasting 4 hours and 9 minutes, with Sinner taking the early advantage 6-2, 3-6, only for Alcaraz to dig deep and win the last 3 sets 6-3, 6-4, 6-3, showcasing his grit and endurance under physical strain. And then there was Lorenzo Musetti, whose creative clay court artistry met reality in a semi-final clash against Casper Ruud. Musetti returned fire but couldn't match Ruud's consistency, bowing out with praise and passion intact. Together, these 3 matches formed an intoxicating cocktail of power, resilience, and unexpected reversals, a true prelude to the grand finals to follow. Gauff's Parisian crown, so we're talking about now Coco Gauff's win at Roland Garros in June 7th on the ladies' final. In a final brimming with nerves, noise, and narrative, Coco Gauff claimed her maiden French Open title and second Grand Slam overall by defeating world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 on June 7th. Gauff 21 turned defense into defiance, unleashing 30 winners against 30 unforced errors and outlasting Sabalenka, who unraveled with 70 unforced errors and 6 double faults in what she later called the worst final I've played. The match swung on a momentum and mindset, with Gauff bouncing back from a tight first set tiebreak and dictating the second and third with poise beyond her years. The victory etched several milestones. First, Gauff became the first American woman to win Roland Garros since Serena Williams in 2015, and this final marked the first women's number 2 versus number 1 Grand Slam since the 2018 Australian Open, and the first at Roland Garros since 2013. Her all-court brilliance and resilience on clay silenced doubters and electrified the French crowd, capped by an exuberant celebration with her box and a surprise hug from director Spike Lee, who had front row seats to a match that blended high drama with Hollywood finish. Now we talk about Alcaraz's epic comeback when he won the men's final on June 8th. In a final for the ages, Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner battled through 5 hours and 29 minutes, the longest Roland Garros men's final in history, and the second longest Grand Slam final ever. Just behind the 2012 Australian Open Classic, the match had everything: momentum swings, punishing rallies, physical breakdowns, and mental comebacks. Sinner raced to a 2-set lead, taking it 6-4, 7-6, and even served for the championship points. Then stormed back to win 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6 in what became the first Roland Garros final ever decided by a 5th set 10-point tiebreak. Statistically and symbolically, this match was a masterpiece. Alcaraz hit 30 aces, saved 2/3 of the break points he faced, and edged Sinner in total points by a single digit 193 to 192. He became just the 3rd man in the Open era to win the Grand Slam final after saving match points, joining Gaston Gaudio 2004 Roland Garros and Novak Djokovic 2019 Wimbledon. The win gave Alcaraz his 2nd French Open title, his 5th major overall, and completed his surface slam. He joins Borg, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic in the pantheon of players with 5 majors before age 23, and is the first man since Bjorn Borg to successfully defend his Roland Garros crown. More than a win, it was a generational declaration. Sinner versus Alcaraz is tennis's future, and the clay court kingdom still belongs to Carlos. Crunching numbers, viewership, prize money, and pressure. Roland Garros 2025 paid out as much drama of court as on it. In its TNT debut, US TV ratings soared by 25%, with 1.47 million viewers tuning in for Gauff's women's final, the most watched since 2016, and 1.8 million for Alcaraz's epic five-setter, the strongest men's final audience since 2021. Over in Prize Town, the total purse hit a record 56.352 million euros, up just 5% from the previous year, with both single champions pocketing 2.55 million euros each. Okay, so now some final words. New kings of clay. Coco Gauff, just 21, doesn't just win titles, she builds legacies. In Paris, she became the youngest woman ever to reach finals at Madrid, Rome, and Roland Garros in the same season, then capped it off by claiming her second Grand Slam. Her defensive mastery and mental steel, tempered by hard final losses in 2022, have elevated her from prodigy to poised champion. She now stands shoulder to shoulder with Serena-era greats, building girl grit like Porcher on clay. Carlos Alcaraz had taken clay court tennis into the next era. His five-set epic over Sinner wasn't just a title defense, it was a declaration. He became the first man since Bjorn Borg to win back-to-back Roland Garros crowns in the Open era, and now holds 5 slams, but before turning 23. Joining the elite club with Borg, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, his blend of Nadal's swagger, Federer's flair, and Djokovic's resilience marks him as an undeniable young titan. Yet Jannik Sinner, through runner-up, refused to be a footnote. The world number one matched Alcaraz shot for shot, served for the match, and earned plaudits for his toughness. His clay court form proved he's not clashing, instead forging a path alongside Alcaraz. Their rivalry is already one for the ages. Between Gauff's breakthrough and Alcaraz's coronation and Sinner's arrival as a Grand Slam protagonist, Roland Garros 2025 heralded a change of the guard. The new kings and queens of clay are here, and they're just getting started. Right, so now we look moving from the clay season to the London grass. Rivalry reloaded. After this Parisian showdown, the next chapter is tennis's most electrifying rivals head to the lawns of London. Wimbledon 2025 looms large, where Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner are on a collision course once again. This time trading topspin's grind for serve and volley flair. Alcaraz, fresh off his Roland Garros triumph and defending his Wimbledon crown, is eyeing slam number 6 and a calendar surface slam. Sinner, now number 1 and a shot away from victory in Paris, is plotting payback on grass, where he beat Alcaraz in 2022. With their head-to-head at 8-4 and momentum split like a perfect rally, the All England club could host a classic worthy of centre court folklore. So basically, for more in-depth tennis breakdowns, Grand Slam drama, and behind-the-scenes insight from epic rivalries like Alcaraz versus Sinner to rising stars rewriting history, make sure to follow this channel, MUFTiiYT Tennis. Subscribe to stay updated with every major twist on tour, and don't miss our next coverage from Wimbledon and beyond. This is MUFTi signing off. Until the grass starts whispering in London, keep your serve sharp and your slices sharper. Until then, guys, take care and peace, and take care of yourselves. Make sure you like and subscribe.